Crissy O here from Crissy O's Clucky Chronicles, and today we're going to talk about hatching quail eggs and why we're having to hatch quail eggs. I got my handy dandy Easter basket here. It's what I use to collect everything with. We've got an old towel at the bottom here because quail eggs are extremely small and they're very rolly. They roll around a lot. So I'm just going to talk you through a little bit if you're interested in hatching your own quail eggs, why we're having to hatch our own quail eggs, and just that whole entire little process. So I'm going to talk you through it today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I heart y'all great big. Okay? Alright, let's get into some quail understanding. As you guys know, we have a quail barn. All of our quails' names are Jeffrey, and we have a couple of Brians in here. It was just easier to do that, and we name all of our beautiful little birds after our friends. So since the quails have matured and they are of jiggling age and they are having eggies, as you can notice, I've got quite a few roos in here, and I have quite a few females too. I had one female. She was having an extremely hard time, and her eggs that she was laying weren't up to par, and they didn't have a good shell on it, so we made sure that she was getting extra calcium and the things that she needed, and then she was able to produce really nice eggs and really nice shells. So let me show you what we're dealing with right now. So right now, if you can see inside of there, we have a whole entire jug full of eggs, and nobody's really messing with them. So there was a broody hen, or what we thought was a broody quail hen in here, but she has abandoned herself from doing her 24-day stint and doing quail eggs, and just females and males are going back and forth in there now just to lay eggs and just to check them out. So we're going to remove the majority of them, and we're going to candle them, and we're going to put them in the incubator. Now, I've looked all over the place. I don't really see any additional. Oh, great. Well, there's an egg right down there, and I can go ahead and get it. So we have one here. See how tiny they are? I'm sorry, camera's not focusing very well, but they're extremely tiny. Like, they're really, really, really tiny, and it's kind of hard to know if you're going to have anything without waiting under an incubator for, you know, a couple days or whatever until you can see if you've got a little baby in there. But I have bobwhite quail, and for the most part, they're very active, they're very sweet. I love their call sounds, all the stuff that they make. Thing of it is when they're here in a quail barn with a flight pen, I don't have the best mamas. Now, I do have a few that feel like they might want to be broody, feel like they might want to have, you know, hatch or lay on some eggs, but they're not. And instead of letting all of these eggs, like right in here, instead of letting all these eggs right here go to waste, I would rather take them and put them inside my incubators and see what we get. See how many we get. See what my hatch rates are going to be. The original quail eggs that I got before, I ordered them online, and I ordered 25, but they sent me, I think, 48 or 50. And we had 26 to hatch. So there you go. We have 20 now because we gave we have 20 bobwhite quail now because we gave 6 to my sister-in-law at her farm. Now, they're beautiful animals, absolutely beautiful, and you can use them for whatever you want to. Quail eggs are delicious. They're packed with protein. They're just so dang tiny. Alright, let's move on and let's start collecting some quail eggs, and then after the incubators are set up, we'll start putting quail eggs in the incubator. See how many we got. Okay, now we're going to start setting up our incubators for quail eggs. He's setting them up now. The reason why, I'm getting ready to tell you. We've got some quails that are not going to be able to hatch all the eggs that they have. Now, I like to bring my stuff inside so I can watch it and see what's happening, see what's going on. It's like a daily thing. So I have 2 of these incubators. You can get any kind of incubator that you want to get. Everybody's going to try to sell you everything. I'm not going to do that because, heck, I don't know. You know, I don't know what you're going to like versus what I'm going to like. This is just what I got. And so far, it's done pretty well for me. So these are the bottom trays here. And these bottom trays down here will fill up with water. Now you can see that tubing right there, and that's the little reservoir. So what you do is you fill up these with water, and you screw them in to the little bottom there. Actually, they just snap down, and the water drains in there and it fills up the bottom container. Then you take this, which is your turner. This is the one, and it turns, and as your eggs sit here, it turns like, you know, a full little turn, so your eggs will constantly rotate and turn on here, kind of like, think of like a rotisserie chicken. And the reason why is, you know, when you incubate eggs and they're not under a mama, you have to try to mimic the natural turning of what the mama would do. Now, since I don't have any quail hens that are broody or even care to hatch any eggs right now, then this is the way that I'm going to have to go. And there's 2 different types. We leave the foam here because we need the extra heat and the extra insulation. And then the poly foams that are here, we put those on top of the tops here. And they are programmed to a certain temperature. And we try to keep everything at a certain temperature, and ours automatically does the humidity for us. So I've never really had to deal with humidities and temperatures and those types of things. It just does it for us. And I know that there's more fancier ones out there, and that's fine. You do you, boo. But now we're going to go ahead and start plugging these things up, getting these things together. I'm going to candle some eggs, see if we got anything viable, and what we have that's viable we're going to put on these 2 trays. So here we go. Alright, we're in a dark bathroom with all the lights turned off, and we have a flashlight. And we're going to start picking up eggs very carefully, and we're going to start seeing if we have anything viable. So go ahead and grab one, Austin, and let's show them how it looks. See if we can see any sign or form of life in it. And it's hard to tell on this particular camera, so I may fix that for you guys later. If we can't tell, then what we'll do is we will put them on the turner, and then in about a week we'll candle again. But this is how you do it. You look for signs of movement, signs of life, no blood rings, none of that. Any little veinings, you look for veins.
See a vein back in.
See, and if we look like we might have a little vein, then we'll keep that. And we'll keep going. Now, as you can see, the water's here. Everything's good to go. There's water in the bottom of this tray. And while I'm thinking about it, right here, there's a little hole. That's where the tube and the water drains into. So once the water goes below because of evaporation, because you're using the heat and the humidity and all that stuff, and once it goes down, the water from the bottle will drain through here and keep the reservoir full. So you have to keep your bottles of water regulated and filled and checked. We usually have to fill ours up about every other day to every 2 days. Now in the beginning it won't be that much, but I turned that upside down. Let's do it the right way, people. How about that? In the beginning, you have to have that little stump there in order to fit this on. I was having a spell there for a minute. You have to keep this full, the bottle full, and the reservoir will refill itself back up. Okay, so now we have the lids secured on here, and he's going to plug them in and get everything set. Just to let you know, this is one type that I have. Sorry about the string being in the way, it's my fault. I have this type here, and then I have the Trio Cottage. I actually like them both. It doesn't really matter to me as long as they are simulating the hen and they're doing what they're supposed to do. You take this dual thing here, you put it in here, and you stick it on, and you make sure that everything is down like it's supposed to, and it will immediately start to turn just like that. And once it turns all the eggs, it will start getting up to temperature. This one's a little bit harder to seal. And then once he seals it and he puts that down, it will immediately start to turn. Now your temperature is going to be here as your heating and your temperature indicator. You have all these power buttons, plus or minus, if you need it hotter, colder, whatever. We let this thing do its thing here, and we make sure that it's doing what it's supposed to do, and then it'll start getting up to temperature. It'll get quiet, and then every hour or two it will turn the eggs. So that's how it goes. Now we have the foam tops on it, and it's just for extra heat so he don't lose heat. Like I said, I like to keep things in front of the window. The window helps heat it up during the day so it gets to temperature pretty quickly. And then once it gets to the temperature that it needs to be, and I can't even remember what I usually set my quails at for what they need to be, but they'll be up there between 99 and 100% on their temperature, and their humidity is, I can't remember what that is off the top of my head, but it'll be in the blog. How about that? We'll put it on the blog on the crissyo.com. You can go check that out. So we're just going to keep a check on the eggs here, the quail eggs. I clean them as much as I could. Some of them are still a little icky looking, so what I'll do later on is, if I go back and I check and see if there's any good and viable ones, then I'll really, you don't want to wet them or anything, but I will take my dry cloth and I'll go back in and I'll, with my toothbrush and my dry cloth, and I'll scrub those icky parts off and get all that cleaned up. These incubators didn't cost a whole lot of money. I think maybe the Trio Cottage one was 35 bucks, and maybe this other one was maybe 40. So if you're serious about doing it and you're serious about incubating and hatching, then you can do that. Now once these, we go over through a period of weeks, you know, between 24 or 26 days. Once they hatch, if we have any to hatch, then we will keep this tabletop in here, and we will do a tabletop brooder for a while, and then I will move the babies over to the washing machine brooder in the quail barn, and they will have constant heat source and constant light. Hello, Nanaroo. So because we are having to seal the bottom of the barn, yeah, I don't know, it's hard to find words today. I guess we're just overly tired. We're going to be cleaning the edges, and we're going to be sealing the bottom of that so there's no water, no potential water rain or whatever that we get. Now, you know, after watching the vlogs, that I seeded this grass pad a couple of weeks ago, and they are going to obliterate it and tear it up. that's what they're going to do. They're going to tear it up. And the ducks are pretty jealous because they're like, Mommy, we want to go over there and get some grass. And the roost is over there like, we want to go over there and get some grass. But I have my special grass pads just for them. And I'm going to go get them some special grass. And they're going to be able to have grass of their own in there. So they're a little upset with me right now. But the ducks will be okay. Alright, fun today, right? You get quail hatching, incubation, and you get grass pad update, and ducks too. Let's go get them some grass, alright? Well, everybody's happy. Everybody has grass on their yard, and they're eating this up over here. The ducks have their own, the roos have their own. We're spraying and sealing the bottom of the chicken barn, so that's going to do it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed how we incubate quail eggs. And during the spring, I will start, or early spring, I will start hatching out more chicken eggs. So be sure to watch that, and I'll show you what we do. Everybody has different steps that they do different things with. Is what it is. So y'all be good. If you can't be good, I don't know what to tell you. I guess be good at it or something. But anyway, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. And we'll see you on the next vlog. Bye.